Outside right now. No, we're quiet outside. I know, Eric. I corrected you already on one of your videos you were doing, but no, we've got some quiet conditions right now, but we're talking about snow later on, and it's not even anywhere close to as significant as it was on Saturday here. As we look from 1 to 10 o'clock, we've got slick roads, we've got travel delays that are expected as we plan for extra time. Now, this light snow today is definitely going to cause issues on the roadways and slow us down. However, I don't think it's going to cause any major airport delays, and really even Saturday we didn't have any major delays other than cancellations to Chicago because it was snowing much worse there. But for us, we had temperatures that were above freezing or around freezing. And even though we had problems at times during the morning, they got better throughout the day. Now, I think you're probably going to get some de-icing and stuff like that. So that's maybe a 15, 30-minute delay, but just keep that in mind. Temperature-wise, we're nowhere close to the freezing mark. We're well below it, and that is one of the key components and main differences from what we had on Saturday as temperatures are around the freezing mark. I do want to look at Rolla. I pulled up this camera here, not just for Paul, but I was looking at the traffic perspective, not because I expect the roads to have an issue, but I was trying to find one of these live cameras where it was actually showing up as snow on the radar. And one of the reasons I point that out is because we are seeing snow off to the southwest. Now, we're kind of in a weird hole in this system where there is no winter weather advisory for us except for Pike County, which you see on the bottom of your screen if you watch this on the air station instead of 5+. Pike County is the only county that's under a winter weather advisory. That really means we're not going to see as much snow in these areas. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be problems, but just keep in mind the further south or north you go, the different issues that we have. Even as I zoom in, like I said, Pike County is the only one that's dealing with that winter weather advisory. It doesn't mean we won't have issues. Like I said, I pulled up Rolla and I watched this one go over it, and I said, well, that maybe get a few flakes. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were a few flakes, but large in part what I think is going to happen with this part of the system here, as we look at this whole thing settle into, is we'll focus on a couple of these spots where the leading edge of most of this is not reaching the surface. It's in some drier air. And what this does is saturate the lower levels of the atmosphere. That snow evaporates thousands of feet before it hits the surface, and it kind of sets the stage as this lower level dry air is in place. It saturates it and then allows the rest of the stuff to fall. Now, this is not going to be some incredibly heavy snow. Like you can see some of these darker shades that are even occurring right now along I-70 from Topeka to Kansas City. Those are spots where you're going to get the most snow, right? This is the area under the winter weather advisory. And if you're traveling to Columbia, you're probably going to see that. But for us, we're going to see this area fill in and eventually start light snow through the midday hours. I'll take you to 2 o'clock to give you an idea of what's going to occur, because I think as we work our way to the upper 20s and low 30s, what we'll see to the south, then we get a little bit of warmer air to the south, right? And that warm air kind of rides over the top of this colder air and is going to create maybe a mix in with a few areas of, I would say for the most part, just sleet. This is going to be a sleet snow mix for areas in Centerville, Farmington, Fredericktown, areas to the south. However, areas in St. Louis, you're dealing with all snow, and it's a light snow. This is not like what we had the other day where it was really heavy in many cases. This is a lighter snow, and it's persistent because even 4, 5, 6 o'clock, everybody is getting snow. Well, you know what happens at 4, 5, 6 o'clock? You've been off all week for Thanksgiving or the last 3, 4 days. You're back in the office picking the kids up for school. Well, guess what? It's snowing, and it's going to slow you down. The roads are going to be covered in snow to some degree, even if it's a very light dusting, and that's going to slow your commute down regardless of 15 to 30 minutes. This is not some crippling issue, but there will be problems. And also notice there are going to be a couple of spots where those bands may pick up. You'll see those darker shades as I scan this through 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Watch how even as temperatures continue to fall, we'll still see that snow around by 9 or 10 o'clock. And I think that's going to be an issue for us where, yeah, that's where the visibility comes down and things get, a little bit more coated in snow. This is immediately going to fall. So for the next several hours, watch our temperatures continue to hold steady in the mid-20s and eventually work their way into the mid to upper 20s. This is not going to change all that much, but snow continues. Now, in terms of snowfall totals, like I said, from north to south, your better opportunities for 2 to 3 inches are to the north, right? I think overall, that's going to be the better opportunity as some new data starts to come in, right? I said 3 inches is on the high side of what we can expect. This is a light, fluffy snow, and it's persistent. But as we go further to the south, notice our totals are lower. That's because I think there may be enough sleet to mix in where that cuts into our snowfall totals. But this is not like what we had on Saturday where, yeah, this is a light, fluffy snow, right? This will blow around. I can use my leaf blower to get this snow out of the way and totally clear it out. You don't need to shovel the snow, right? But temperatures are all below freezing, so immediately it sticks. On Saturday, it was even if it's 34 and it's snowing really hard, some of it melted and it was slushy. This is all going on the ground. Our snowfall rates are much, much lower, so you're not going to see overproduction like we had from some of those areas with thunder snow and things like that. In the next 7 days, you'll notice that we go from 29 today with our weather impact alert and late snow. And once again, the main story for us in terms of a weather impact alert is the fact that we have 1 to 10 o'clock slick roads and travel delays. Plan for extra time. This is not some crippling system, but because of when we have a lot of people on the roads, that's the issue. In the next 10 days, there are no more weather impact alert days or chances for snow, but it's not going to be all that warm. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of warmth over the next few days. We'll start to nudge up, but it is large in part below average and below freezing even for highs a couple of days as we continue to look at temperatures in the mid-teens to low 20s for lows.